Deaf Voices for the Bible. Do deaf people need a Bible in their own language?
Well, they're not blind, so I guess they can read a Bible just like me, right?
Wrong. Hear our voice.
I want to tell you my story. I was born deaf. I can also read lips. My parents, they're Christians. I was born and I would go to church with them. I grew up in the church. I really did, and I loved it. But everybody around me was hearing, and I was the only deaf person. And I would try to understand. And I would think about things, and people would ask me questions, and I would ask them questions, say, what did they say? And they would show me the Bible, and they would show it to me again and again. But I didn't understand it. I would look at it, and one day I saw a drawing of a man walking, and on the side of the road was a poor man begging. And the man helped him. And I loved that drawing. I loved it. And I would go back to it again and again and again. And I just loved it. And I had such a desire to read and understand. I could get words, individual words, but to get the whole story, I couldn't read the whole story. And so I'd ask people, and since everybody around me was hearing, they didn't know sign language, and I couldn't read their lips really well. But I prayed to the Lord. What can I do, Lord? It's very important to bring in an interpreter. I would think about that. But there was no interpreter. And time went on. Now deaf people have found interpreters, and we have interpreters, and we have such a desire to learn. It's so important. And I'll ask questions and learn from my interpreter. Then we have a right to that. We need that. People don't understand words, and I tell them, you have to look for them in the dictionary. Oh, they say, that's a lot of work. I don't have patience for that. They don't have a passion for it. But me, I love it. I just look for things. It makes me nervous until I get my dictionary and look for things. On vacation, when I was not working, I went and I read and looked for words. It took me 3 days to read a story. A long time for me. And hearing people can read things really fast, but deaf people, it takes us longer because we don't have hearing.
Well, the problem is that it is just so hard to understand. I mean, some people try really hard. Well, like some of the older folks, they don't understand it. And even some of the younger people, they come and they read it all, and it's all so new to them. They try to read it, but, really, the best way is to do it naturally in sign language, either in a written form or a person signing. The Bible, now, I couldn't understand it. I would get in a group and I would ask other people if they could explain it to me, but I couldn't understand that either. I mean, never in my life could I understand this Bible. Now, I know it's important. I know that, but so what do? I just keep it on the shelf, carry it around, but I can't read it. I know it has important stories, but I don't understand the words. I just can't do it. So what do? So, one day I was thinking about it. I thought, hey, I have a friend who's an interpreter. And so he's a good friend of mine. I called him over and I said, hey, I got a question for you, please. I can't understand this when I'm reading it. Could you sign it for me, interpret it for me, and give it to me? I mean, I'll pay you for it. And so the guy thought about it and he said, all right, sure. All right. And so then I got the disc. And I was watching the signing, and I had my Bible there, and I was watching the signing, and is that what this says? And I turned off the video, and I tried to read it again. Don't understand that. Watch the sign again. Now that touches my heart. And I look back at it, and I still don't quite understand it. And I just go back and forth between the video and what's there, and finally, I would get it. Okay.
It's good to have interpreters. Bringing in an interpreter is a really good thing. They can give us information and different things. It's great, but I just feel like we need a Bible in words that are signed that I can understand, and I can get it inside me. If I have a Bible, I just don't understand that. It's like a barrier, and I bump up against it until we break that barrier, and we have the Bible in our own sign language, and we can get it inside us. That's what we need, is our own sign language Bible.
Why is the Bible important to you?
When I look at the Bible, but I don't really understand it, there's nothing there for me. And I know God, I believe in God, but no, it doesn't work that way. I have to have the Bible. And I look at it, and that's what touches my heart, and that's how I can have a relationship with God. If I don't read my Bible, I can't have a relationship with God. But when I read my Bible, for a deaf person, it's really hard to read a Bible. Oh, it's hard to understand it. But if we can take those words and we can transform them into sign language and have it signed, that's right.
Now, I'm deaf, but do I use the scripture? Very little. And why is that? Because as I try and read it, it is just so difficult that it's like this huge battle. And I just get tired. And so I close it up and it sits there collecting dust. And what happens to me as a person? I can't grow. Now, sure, I can invent my own stuff and my own ideas, but you got to be careful because you can get really far off with that. If you really want to know what's in Scripture, it has to be in sign language. And then that I can understand the signing. Now, then other people have their opinions, and I can check it with Scripture and see if they're on target or not. The Bible is so important. And why is that? For example, if I didn't have the Bible, how would I know how to walk with Christ? And who is this Jesus? I don't know. I wouldn't know. But I do have the Bible, and it's important for me. And, I can read it, and, I can just soak it all in, and it goes down into my heart. Oh, it's wonderful. And so, if I do something bad or good, what is the answer? Where do I find that? It's right here in Scripture. So, what Scripture do you have available in your sign language? And is it enough? Well, we have the Gospel of Mark, produced in 3D animation. We also have a variety of stories from the Old Testament, including Joshua, Gideon, David and Goliath, and Elijah. We also have some texts in the written form, as well as some materials that teach how to read this writing. Well, now, during this time, we've translated quite a few things. We have the Gospel of Mark. It's done, and then they've been working on various other things like Luke and various other things. So, and we're getting lots of new stuff, and I would love to have the whole Bible, all of it in sign language, but we don't have that yet. It seems like there's all these different parts that we don't have, all these different things. We're not done yet. I mean, think about it. Hearing people have a variety of different Bibles in their language that they can read. They have it all. How are you using the texts that are translated?
People from the world, they're not interested in the Bible. They don't want to listen to preaching. But a better way is for me to invite them to my house. And then we study the Bible, and I tell them, I give them my testimony, and I show them what's in the Bible. And people in the world, slowly, little by little, their eyes are opened, and they want more. And they raise their hands, and they ask questions, and they're just so eager to learn, to listen, to hear what they have to say. And then we can ask them, do you want to go to church? Come on, go to church with me. Oh, yeah, I'd like to do that. And they get really excited about that, and they keep coming, and they keep learning.
Now, look at this on my tablet. This is really clear. I mean, look at this. This is perfect. Now, other stuff I have to read and then ask other people and so on, but this is in sign language. And, I can carry it with me. I can show it to other people and they can look at it. It's perfect for the deaf world. And so I see a deaf person and say, do you ever read anything? No, it's hard. But I show them this. I open it up and they look at it and they say, whoa, hey, this is my sign language. Whoa, hey, can I have a copy of that? You give me a copy? And I say, no problem. It's free. No problem. I'll give it to you for free. They say, really? Other places you got to pay for it. I mean, you're going to give it to me for free? Oh, this is great. Oh, it does my heart good. Thank you very much. Perfect. And now our group in Madrid is growing and growing thanks to this ministry. And with scripture, in sign language and everything, it's been perfect for us. Well, this sign language scripture is so important. And it's important for you too. And for example, if you're interested, come take a look at what we've got and give it your support. This translation is important. You need to encourage it. Because if you don't, we're going to just go backwards. It doesn't matter if you're hearing or deaf. You got to fight for this and keep pushing it forward. And as you push and move us forward, we keep going on. And then we can influence the rest of the deaf world. And so I encourage you. Thank you.